Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here live in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And as always, the broadcast is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just water, it's Fiji Water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D. The Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we are Facebook Live. Of course, we broadcast on our website at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com. We are also Facebook Live. We are YouTube Live. And we are now live on RadioFreeNetwork.com. You can go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio. The New Life link will appear, and click on New Life, and every broadcast will be available to you. I'm going to begin by addressing a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your mother is dressing like a much younger woman, and you want to know how can you make her realize that she needs to dress more age appropriately. Okay, so first of all, let me address this by saying this is obviously something that's bothering you. However, what you need to realize is that your mother is completely capable of taking care of herself. You know, I was prayerful about this because obviously this is troubling your spirit, and one of the things you have to realize is that your mother appears to be God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. I don't know you personally, you're not in my area. However, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. And your mother is actually a woman who takes care of herself. She is exercising, active, trying to keep young energy. And now what's happened is that she looks more like an older sister than she looks like your mother, because you yourself are getting older. So you have to recognize that because she's taking care of herself, she's going to feel more confident. Now, your struggle is you feel that she's dressing like a younger woman. Well, that's because she feels like a younger woman. It's not like your mother, and this is, I'm not judging anyone when I make this comment, but it's not like your mother is working in a gentleman's club, or looks like she's working in a gentleman's club. She's not, broadcasting her appearance for money. It's not like she's stripping and broadcasting her goods for compensation. So you gotta look at the bigger picture here. She's dressing like a younger woman because she feels young. She feels like a younger woman. But that does not imply that she is advertising herself as someone who is dressing inappropriately. How about that? You're saying age appropriate, but the way she's dressing is not inappropriate. You know, as God allowed me to see this in that secret place of your life, I realized that all she's doing is trying to take care of herself and make certain that she has a great quality of life. So you don't really have a reason, first of all, you don't have a reason to be embarrassed by the way your mother presents herself. And second of all, you don't have any reason to think that your mother's dressing inappropriately. You just said age appropriate. So basically you want her to look like she's somebody's mother. You're struggling with the fact that she looks like your older sister because when the two of you are out together, because now I'm going to break this down and tell you what the real problem is that you're struggling with, is that she gets more attention than you get, which is causing you some insecurities. And so you feel if she tones it down a bit and dresses what you would consider to be more appropriately, then when you two are out someplace together, you'll get the attention and the attention won't be on your mother. Well, I can tell you right now that's not going to happen. Because what you've got to recognize is that your mother's confidence, due to her taking care of herself, body, mind, and spirit, her confidence has allowed her to say, I can dress in whatever form I might like to dress as long as I'm dressed with dignity. Now that looks like a lot of things for a lot of different people, but I can tell you, your mother's not having a problem with her dignity. So you've got to get over your own insecurities and allow your mother to be who she is and allow her to, and don't interfere with the way she chooses to present herself in public. Because there's nothing wrong with the way she's presenting herself in public. Now, I haven't been on any of your social media or anything like that, but I can only tell you what God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. There's nothing inappropriate about the way your mother's dressing. There's nothing inappropriate about the way your mother presents herself. So, you know, we probably would have to have a discussion about what age appropriateness truly is. You know, it would be different if you were telling me that, you know, or if I saw in that secret place of your life that your mother was, you know, showing her body inappropriately, then that's a different conversation. But that's not this. And this is not that. This is you dealing with your own insecurities about the attention that your mother gets when the two of you go out together. So you have to ask yourself, why do you feel insecure about that? You have to ask yourself that question, and I'm not going to wait for you to answer it for yourself. I'm going to tell you what God has shown me in that secret place of your life. You are a beautiful young woman who has beautiful young friends. And because you have beautiful young friends, whenever you all are out together, you have some insecurities. So you feel like when you are with your mother, that is the time for you to be able to shine. But yet, because your mother's an attractive older woman who's taking good care of herself, you're struggling with those insecurities also. You have to realize that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. And I'm not just saying that from a scriptural perspective, even though that is the scripture. I'm saying that because even though I don't know you, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. You're a beautiful young woman who has taken care of herself. You've got your mother's genes. But you've got to get over the insecurities of all the people around you, because you're just as beautiful or more beautiful than even some of them. What makes them different is that your friends have beautiful personalities. Your mother has a beautiful personality. Your personality has some challenges. So your outer beauty is dimmed by the work you need to do on your inner being. And I'm going to challenge you to do this. If you want to be beautifully and wonderfully made, both inside and out, outside and in, so that you can eliminate some of those insecurities, you're going to need to really work on your relationship with the Lord. And I know everyone hears me say that over and over again, and I'm going to be saying it over and over again, because the reality is that everything that encompasses our best quality of life has everything to do with our relationship with the Lord. And that is a work in progress. That's something that we have to work on. But as we continue to work on it, God reveals to us things that we need to do to improve and become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. But if you don't explore your relationship with the Lord and enhance your relationship with the Lord, you cannot get there. You're always going to have those insecurities. You're always going to lack the confidence that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. You know, we really have some work to do as human beings on our relationship with the Supreme Being. We have work to do on our relationship with the Lord. And that's all of us. Everyone's relationship is going to look a little different, but I'm encouraging everyone to develop the best relationship with the Lord that you can possibly develop and become the best version of yourself that you can possibly become. Because all of that is encompassed in our relationship with the Lord. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer and you have not been for the previous 90 days, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill. And if you auto pay, by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So I'm going to say, we're live right here in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. And I've often told our listeners and viewers, and I will continue to tell all of our new listeners and viewers, because we're live, you may hear some human noises, cough, sneeze, and it's just part of being live for every broadcast. Having said that, I was going to announce when I started the broadcast today that I've been having some difficulties with my allergies the last couple of days, and for whatever reason, I haven't been able to get them under control. So that's why you hear me sneezing today. And Unfortunately, I thought you were going to hear it in my voice initially, so I started to address it, and then I said, I'll make it through the broadcast, and maybe you won't be able to pick up on the problems I'm having with my allergies, and then I began to sneeze. So, having said all of that, all is well, and I am well. I am just dealing with my allergies today. So, I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been juggling a lot of balls and you want to get them under control. And you would like to know, how can you do that? How can you juggle the balls effectively and efficiently without dropping any of the balls? The answer to this is going to be very simple. The problem is you're having difficulty letting go of one of the balls. You have too many balls in the air. You're going to have to take one of the balls out of the juggle. Drop one of the balls. It's not going to, I don't want you to drop the ball in the sense that you don't get something done. Delegate it off to someone else. Take one of the balls out of the juggle. You've got to eliminate one of them because you're doing too much. And because you're doing too much, you're not being effective or efficient in anything. You're getting a lot of things done eventually, right, wrong, or indifferent. You're getting them done. They may not always be done right. Sometimes you're finding that you're missing pieces, but the reality is it's because you're doing too much. And one of the problems that you're having is that every time one thing is either completed or you pick up the balls to juggle and you find that you're able to juggle the balls, you have someone toss you another ball because you think you can keep juggling. You've got to settle in to what you know you can do effectively and efficiently. And you've got to focus on those things. So even as an investor, let me share something with you. So from an investment perspective, I'm only interested in one category may seem a little broad, but I'm only interested in certain things even in that category. So from an investor point of view, I'm only interested in the stock market, real estate, commercial real estate, and alternative investments. Alternative investments sounds like a broad category, but within that, I'm only interested in certain items, certain things. You've got fine art, you've got, precious minerals, you've got oil and gas, you've got private equity, hedge funds. It sounds like it's a wide category, but within that category, you can pick certain things at certain times that are of interest to you. But at the end of the day, there's really only three categories that I'm interested in: the stock market, commercial real estate, alternative investments. And I say that to say, even in your own profession and in your own activities, you have to decide what are the things that you're going to be focused on that are important to you, that you can enhance the quality of your life, and that you can really be effective and efficient. That's it. Once you do that, whatever balls do not fit within that category, you've got to delegate off to someone else. You've got to delegate the responsibility of certain things to someone else. If you do that, you're going to be more effective. You're going to be more efficient. problem is that you think that you really need to be doing all of these things because it makes you feel useful. It also makes you feel like you're accomplishing something more. But if you're not maximizing your accomplishment, then are you really accomplishing something more? And I'm using that as an analogy to say it's one thing to get something accomplished, but did you maximize what you're trying to accomplish? Did you maximize the goal? Did you maximize your success? Is it enhancing the quality of your life, or is it disrupting your peace? There's a lot of things that we have to examine at all times in our lives. You know, there's a scripture that says, and the reason this comes to me is because the last Sunday of every month we have Holy Communion in our church at New Life Christian Center. The Bible says, let a man examine himself. The reason for having Holy Communion is not just to celebrate the birth, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which gives us eternal life. It is to allow us to examine ourselves, to examine our relationship with the Lord, to examine how we're living our lives, to examine, are we being the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become, to examine how are we being successful and maximizing our success? Are we experiencing the fullness of God? Are we maximizing the fullness of God? Those are all things we have to examine. And that's the reason that the last Sunday of every month we take a pause and we examine ourselves. Well, it's the same thing in business. We should, when I was in the corporate environment, one of the things that we used every month was a monthly management report, an MMR. Then you have a QMR, and you have which is a quarterly management report, and then the MMR, and then a AMR, an annual management report. And the reason is because we were managing not only our deals, but our internal and external customer, for lack of a better term. Well, every month you should be managing, are you at peace with what you're doing in your life? Are you at peace because you're effective? Are you at peace because you're efficient? Are you at peace because you're maximizing your potential and your success? So you gotta make certain that you don't spend the rest of your life juggling too many balls in the air. Let one drop off. In other words, and I don't mean drop it to the ground, pass it off to someone else. It's a ball, pass it off to someone else and let them have that responsibility. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. If you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything you could possibly need. They have home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. Pardon me. They have everything a man could possibly need. They have shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I got a little ahead of myself. And the White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. They have home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been working on improving your attitude, and you want to know what can you do to really ensure that you make significant progress. So that was your question. So first of all, let me say this: to God be the glory that you're working on your attitude, because you've identified one area of your life that is going to have an impact on your altitude, just how high you're going to go. So what does that really look like for us to make changes in our attitude? We have to decide that we're going to renew our mind and renew our spirit. That we're going to make some changes in the way we interact with others and the way we respond to others. So that's, first and foremost, that's going to be a challenge, because that's something you have to do yourself. Now, externally, people can teach you how to treat them, which will require you to make an attitude adjustment. However, you don't want it to get to that point. You want to be able to deal with your attitude on your own terms and decide how you're going to interact with others and how you're going to respond to other people. So let's talk about that for a moment. How do you interact with other people? This is this is going to determine whether or not you have a good attitude. When you interact with other people, your attitude should be that you want them to leave your presence having a positive experience. So that implies that you want to treat them with dignity and you want to treat them with respect. Now you might say, well, they have to respect me first, but that's not how it goes. You get back what you put out. And if you put out respect and someone else doesn't return that to you, then you need to stiff arm them. And I don't really mean put your hands on them, but that's an old football adage. You need to keep them at arm's length and make certain that you use that arm to push them back. In other words, they don't need to be in your immediate environment. They don't need to be in your space. But you treat everyone with dignity and respect. So I have a close friend, and one of the things, who's like a brother to me, and one of the things that we do every time we speak to one another is we call each other sir. Not for any other reason, except it's a demonstration of love and respect for one another. Now, the other thing that we do is that when we come in contact with people, we acknowledge them as sir or ma'am. And the reason is because that's a show of dignity and respect. We've gotten away from a lot of proper values here in America. And part of the reason is because our society has changed so dramatically in the last century. And particularly in the last 50 years. So what I'm saying is part of your attitude is going to be how you interact with other people. And giving a sign of dignity and respect, showing a sign of dignity and respect to others is going to allow them to begin the process of having a positive experience. So that's first and foremost. When you interact with other people, you want to make certain that they depart from you having a positive experience. That will be a great indicator of your attitude. And the second thing is that when you are engaged with others, that you demonstrate kindness, the love of God, that you demonstrate Christ dwelling in us. Now that doesn't require us to allow anyone to walk over us or step on us. It just requires us to hold ourselves accountable for how we present ourselves and what we want to accomplish It's about renewing the mind and renewing the spirit. And that's what we do to enhance the quality of our lives and experience the fullness of God. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look